Hello, welcome to another Soulprint Mini. Thank you so very, very much for being here. So, Trump's trial continues to go forward. I thought that this would be a good time to just take a peek and see how Michael Cohen is doing. Um, he's a lot of the pieces are fitting into place now, and the prosecution is telling a story. And he is one of, I think, the witnesses that is going to not not pull the pieces together because the prosecution is doing that, but almost um, corroborate everything that's already gone before. So instead of Michael Cohen taking the witness stand first and then having all of these other people come and say, yeah, that's what happened. He said what he said. That's what happened. What they're doing is they're doing it backwards, which actually makes a lot of sense, right? Because then you're putting the focus on other witnesses as opposed to Cohen, who, there's going to be pushback, the jail time, the lying, etc. So what they're doing is they're making, it kind of so that when he comes in, everything is already a known fact, and this is just confirming what happened from, I guess, his perspective, his tale of the story. But he's definitely one of those people that Trump now holds great animosity towards. And, there is some concern about his safety. Now, I have never picked up an energy that causes me to be really concerned, but there's definitely a lot of tension and worry and anxiety around that situation. So I just want to take a quick peek and see how Michael's doing because, you want him when he hits that witness stand, boy, you want him to be rock solid. And, we've already seen from the testimony he gave to the House committees that were investigating, that he was a lawyer, okay, whether, he wasn't exactly a trial lawyer and, whatever kind of a lawyer he was, but he certainly is able to do that very sort of calm presentation. He answers the question. He doesn't go on and on and on and go off in tangents. So he's easy to listen to in that way. So let's just see what we can see when it comes to Cohen, shall we? Here we go. Energy around Michael Cohen, energy around Michael Cohen, energy around Michael Cohen. Last year, but are we doing with it? It's literally like it's taken this long to get. Okay. We're starting off with the King of Cups. Okay. So this has to do with that energy, that sort of feeling like, emotion. There's a lot of emotion swirling around him. There's a lot to deal with. He is sitting on solid ground, but, he's surrounded by water in the picture, right? And so what you have is somebody who's feeling actually pretty solid about what they need to say, what they need to do, how they need to present themselves. But he is mindful of the fact that this is incredibly, incredibly, stressful for him and very anxiety producing for his family. Eight of Pentacles. So this is literally about him being prepared, right? He is prepared to give his testimony. He is not going to get flustered on the stand. He is not going to get riled up because he knows exactly what he needs to say. He knows how he wants it presented, how he wants himself presented and viewed. And so he is just currently in a kind of a process of just, dotting his I's, crossing his T's, making sure that he is ready to go. Listen, he wants us to be over more than anybody, probably maybe even more than Trump, it feels like, because at least Trump's getting publicity. He is really waiting for this to just sort of come to its natural resolution. Okay. He just wants to get on with his life at this point. And, he carries a great deal of bitterness. Certainly, towards Bill Barr, towards the way the legal system was sort of weaponized against him, right? But there's for any of us who have ever suffered any kind of trauma, we recognize that at some point we just want everything to sort of come to closure so there can be that healing process. And that's where he's at. He's like just waiting for things to wrap up because he really, really, really wants to be able to kind of move forward. And honestly, based on the next couple of cards, I think he's going to do that quite well. He has the Six of Wands here, followed by the Nine of Pentacles. All right. So what this is telling me is that he is going to be able to move forward in a way so that it feels very much like his testimony is going to be exactly what the prosecution needs to sort of wrap this all up. And it feels like there's going to be some benefits that come to him via that, whether, it's another book, whether it is, I know he's already got like a couple podcasts going. I know that he spends a fair bit of time on Midas Touch Network. But whatever it is, it feels like as he goes forward, he is going to feel vindicated. That doesn't mean he's not still going to be a little bitter, but it feels he's going to start the healing process. He's going to feel like, okay, I got, I did what I wanted to do, right? I'm victorious. I went to court. I stood up to the process. I told them the truth as I know it. And now I can shut this part of my life down and I can move on to new and other things. And those other things look like they're going to serve him well. They're going to be, profitable for him. Eight of Wands followed by the Hermit. I really like this because this is talking about his ability to communicate effectively that which has been hidden, okay? That which has been kept behind closed doors. It also is going to represent and signal to him. So not only is he going to be able to uncover the things that were covered up at Trump Organization and with Donald Trump, but the other side of that, honestly, is that once this is wrapped, he really feels like he can almost come out of hiding, right? That he can almost just start moving forward. He did the crime. He did his time. He is testifying. And at some point, it's like, okay, let's just move on with our life. He's still a young man. He still has, relatively young kids. What are they, in their early 20s, maybe? Late teens, I'm not sure, somewhere in there. There's a lot of life left to live. And it very much feels like he is going to be able to do that. And what's following that is the Star card. So very, very definitely there's going to be some successes coming his way, sort of some resolutions coming his way. It's going to feel in many, many ways that like he's just starting, he's removed the heavy burden and he's able to move forward and start fresh. Followed by the Moon and the Seven of Wands. So what we have here is, there are things that we're never going to know. There are things that he's not going to talk about, whether this has to do with his own family or whatever. But he is going to illuminate that which needs to be illuminated. Well, frankly, keeping some things private. And I got to say, it kind of feels like that's his right, you know. But he is going to move forward very, very much feeling like he he took the high ground, that he can look himself in the mirror and say, I did a lot of really wrong things, but ultimately I did the right thing and I made the right choices. And now I feel like I can move forward kind of with my head up. Okay. And as he goes forward, he's got money coming. He's got money coming to him. So, it, you know, that's a good thing, right? We all have to live. We all have to pay our bills. We all have to, et cetera, et cetera. So, it feels as if, he's not going to be implicated in a way that creates financial hardship. In fact, it feels like there's going to be sort of financial rewards coming to him. And this, this is going to have to do more with just things that he does on his own, right? I mean, it's not like he's getting paid to be a witness. But it definitely has to do with the way he conducts himself, the things he says and does, etc., and his ability to move not only himself forward, but his family forward. He is very, very entrenched, sort of in the New York scene, if you will. Um, I'm sort of asking as I'm sitting here if he's going to move, if he's going to move out of sort of the Trump Tower. As of right now, I'm not getting that. It doesn't feel like there are any plans for him to shift residences or move. It feels very much like he's dug in where he is. And he's not interested in sort of uprooting or disturbing his family, frankly, any more than they have already been disturbed by everything that has gone on. And so I guess the final thing I want to look at, and I'm just going to ask Spirit directly, is there any significant concern that he is in any sort of physical, he or his family are in any concern of like physical danger as a result of people who perhaps feel that he is being disloyal to his former boss? Um, so what they're showing me is that he actually has protection around him. And I'm not sure if this is sort of like bodyguard protection or whether this is, the police are monitoring, keeping their eye open, that kind of thing. It also feels as if there's some sort of, um, I want to say the words like electronic, um, um, something's going on there. It's not like he's been fitted with a wire or a police bracelet or anything, but it feels like little things, right? Like he always has the locator on his phone, right? There are little things that have been done within the family unit itself so that everybody kind of is always mindful, supposed to be, where they are, and what's going on with them. They really are showing me that that family unit has just really, really tightened together. And there really is this sort of we're all in it together kind of energy. So there is an awareness that there is a heightened sense of danger around him, but I am not being shown or picking up anything that causes me to be particularly concerned or worried. Certainly, if you are inclined, throwing some white light his way is definitely not going to be a bad thing to do. But overall, it looks like the precautions that need to be taken are being taken. He is not going into this um, naively. All right. He is not going into this unaware of the things that Donald Trump can cause to happen. So, very much it looks like he's going to be okay. His testimony, when it comes out, is going to be successful. And more important, it's just going to be very, very effective. Um, Yeah, so that's what I know. So hopefully that was helpful and a little bit insightful. And thank you for being here. I will see you again really, really soon. Until then, take care and be well. Bye bye for now.